Today we're going to be taking a look at Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl. It is a first person horror simulation game. It's kind of difficult to put it into exact words what Stalker 2 is. It's very unique. It's something that not a lot of game developers have tried to do. I think the only game that's kind of close that you could point towards is the Metro 2033 series, and that probably only in the latest game in that series. It's all about atmosphere, as you can see from the start of that trailer that I played at the beginning. Stalker has always been about atmosphere. It's always about your experiences in this very strange place that seems familiar, but at the same time has something to it that just doesn't quite feel right. It feels off. There are things there that you wouldn't see anywhere else. And that's what makes Stalker really great. And all of that will be in Stalker 2. We've seen a pretty good amount of trailers at this point, some of which I'll be playing up in a little bit. So yeah, here's the website for Stalker 2. You can already pre-order or put it on your wish list. Here's kind of their spiel. Heart of Chernobyl is a next-gen sequel to the award-winning PC game franchise developed by GSC Game World. So there have already been, in defiance of the name, Stalker 2, there have been, I think, 3 other games, and we'll look at what those are in a minute, very soon. The Heart of Chernobyl, and here you can get sort of a glimpse at what that atmosphere is like. Very dark, very foreboding, I guess, is the way to put it. It brings to mind all of the images that you've seen before of Chernobyl. There's a lot here to discover. It's all about exploration, finding things in the zone, things that you might not expect to find. Yeah, and you can see what that is like. There's a lot of interactions that you have in Stalker, also. So I assume that Stalker 2 will be bringing back some of those, not necessarily the characters that were in the first couple of Stalker games, although they might. I think they confirmed that they're bringing at least a couple, but I don't know. I've kind of shut my shut the window on it a little bit just to not get completely spoiled as to what's going to be coming, which is funny because then I'm making this video. But you know, it is what it is, right? So here are the standard editions, deluxe edition, and ultimate edition. You can get those system requirements here. Alright, so we're going to be looking at this, and in order to understand the new Stalker game, it's best to look back a little bit. So here we have some of the older games: Shadow of Chernobyl, Call of Pripyat, and Clear Sky. And this details a lot of what is in the zone. And the zone is the area that you explore in the world of Stalker. There are, of course, the Stalkers themselves. They're explorers. They're kind of lone wolf figures. The bandits. There are these criminal types who are trying to make money off from the zone. Zombie stalkers, so there'll be stalkers that have died, and then the zone brings them back to life. military stalkers, so these are more militarized people. And then Duty. Duty is one of the factions in the game. I think um, at least in Call of Pripyat, there were the bandits and Duty, and then sort of a third faction, if I remember. I don't remember a ton about the game though because it's been such a long time. It's I think it's been like 10 years at this point since Call of Pripyat. Um, yeah, here's some of the monsters. You got bloodsuckers, boars, controllers, snorks, pseudo dogs, burers. They're all very um, just changed, deformed, uh, very scary creatures, to be honest. Um, and that's what will be greeting you in the dark recesses of the zone. So that's something that if you're going to play this game, you'll have to be prepared for. It's definitely not a um, a nice, happy place. You're going to be seeing all sorts of strange things, like this pseudo dog, which is very creepy looking. Um, and the great thing about the Stalker games is that there's a huge modding community behind them. Um, there, there's a very large mod for I can't remember um, which game it is, but it's huge. They changed like a bunch of things. They've updated graphics and all of that. So if you want to get a taste of Stalker, that is probably the best way to do it. Yeah, then there's anomalies. These are things while you're out in the environment that are trying to kill you, basically. Even the environment itself is hostile. And there'll just be, you'll be walking out in a forest, and all of a sudden, lightning will start coming from an orb and spinning around and following you around. Um, so you have to kind of stay on your toes when you're playing the Stalker games. There are also artifacts. So artifacts are, I think they were in Stalker. They would give you like stats and things. You could also take them to some of the vendors and sell them. Let's see what this has to say. Yeah, so it gives you defense from burn, irradiation. This one gives you +2 to remove irradiation. Uh, there's a lot of reason to go out and get these artifacts, and I'm sure those will be in Stalker 2 as well. Obviously, weapons, you have all of your usual guns, AKs, all sorts of things. Alright, so now we're going to be taking a look at one of the trailers. Just a little excerpt from that, so you can get an idea of what the game actually looks like.
An achievement comparable at best to the conquest of space.
So that part that it just showed was an example of what the anomalies are like. So you'll be walking out, you'll be going to these different areas, and all of a sudden this giant thing will kind of appear out of nowhere. Rocks will fly in the sky. You'll see all of these different things. And you saw also that he had this little bolt in his hand, and he was throwing that at the anomaly. And that's the way that you kind of stay safe when you're out in the zone. You'll take these bolts. If you start to hear you have like a radiation meter. If you start to hear it go off, you'll take the bolt, you'll throw it to see if there's an anomaly. If it shows a reaction, like it did in part of this, see the bolt right here. He throws it, it, shows an effect, and that's how you stay safe. So it's things like that that really make the atmosphere of Stalker come to life.
fuck are you?
And what do we have?
Yeah, you can already see what Stalker's all about. There's a lot of sneaking around. You're trying to stay silent so that not only the other people that are around don't find you, but whatever strange monsters there might be don't find you as well. Let's see.
I was attacked while on a job. Got hit in the
I think this shows off some of the gunplay.
head and almost nothing but my birthday.
So you can see what the UI looks like. It's very basic, and that's on purpose to keep the atmosphere. Throwing more bolts. Yeah, even the dogs are after you. And it exploded. So, yeah, like you can see, Stalker is, I'll continue that in a second. Stalker is definitely a very hostile environment. The zone is a very hostile environment to be in. Everything's out to get you. You just kind of have to be prepared for that.
Here's your bolt.
Hell would I need a bolt?
Take a look around.
The inventory has not changed too much from what I remember. Let's see, where was that? There we go. A very, very basic UI. You can see the bottom left. There's also, all of your quick bar items. A lot of the time, you'll just want like bandages, grenades, that sort of thing. It's very very simple combat, very FPS. It's not really like um too much like RPG style stats or that sort of thing. They are there, especially when it comes to things like radiation and all of that. So I assume that Stalker 2 will continue that. It looks like, by the looks of things, this is just a continuation of a lot of the ideas that were in the original Stalker series, which is what I want. So that's great. But they're doing a lot more with random encounters. Like, there were definitely random encounters in the original Stalker games, but they're kind of bringing it up to the next level, bringing it up to probably seeing some of the ideas that went through games like Red Dead Redemption 2 and The Witcher, those sorts of really interesting encounters that would just happen naturally as you're wandering around.
I've got nowhere to go back to, huh?
So yeah, that is a lot of what you'll see in Stalker, and we'll let this one take it home. The last trailer I'll be showing off here. So like I said, Stalker 2, it's all about, and just Stalker the series is all about atmosphere. That is what you'll be getting in this game. No different than the rest of the series. It has a really interesting atmosphere of just different anomalies, different things that you won't expect, things that come out of nowhere. You'll have interactions with all sorts of different characters that are in the zone for their own reasons. Um, and I'm sure you'll find a mystery or two. And a lot of it's gonna be fantastic. If you've seen, I mean, you saw in all the trailers, the um, the level that they've gone with this game. It's really a step above where they used to be, and it's great to see. I'm glad that they found a way to make it happen because it was very difficult for them. We'll just say that. It was definitely a very difficult time for them. Um, and they still made it happen. So there it is, Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. It's coming out Q1 2024, so that's going to be in spring. And we'll see how that goes. I'm sure it's going to be great. It's definitely looking great. We've seen a ton of footage from it, so all signs are looking good.